Are you considering a move to Miami, but you're just not sure which neighborhood will fit best for you? Well, today I'm going to talk to you about some popular neighborhoods. Some of these neighborhoods are located right in the main city areas. Some of them are more suburban areas, but these are some of the most popular areas in Miami-Dade County. So today I'm going to talk to you about the top 5 best neighborhoods to live in Miami. And I'm going to get started now. Hey everyone, my name's Jamey Prezzi. I'm a real estate agent in Miami-Dade and Broward counties. I work with my husband, Ognjen Prezzi, and our team. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another update. We do put out new videos every week. Also, use the link in our information box and download our free relocation guide. On that guide page, which is about 42 pages long, I just updated it, you will find a lot of helpful information about the transaction and how it works in our area and sort of some timelines, and it's really good. I get a lot of good feedback about that guide, so I hope you enjoy it too. Also, in the description box, you can find all of our contact information, so if you would like to schedule a free buyer or seller consultation, feel free to reach out to us. We're always here to be a resource for you. Okay, let's get started. Miami's popularity is really growing. I mean, we've lived here for almost 20 years and I have never seen anything like what is going on now and what has happened over the past several years. I mean, who would have thought that Messi would be playing at our Inter Miami? And you know that we love soccer. Our little boy is a soccer player and we are beyond the moon about Messi coming here and playing. It's super exciting. And this type of energy is the energy that you will feel all over our city. There are a lot of large corporations moving here and they're bringing their people, and there's just a lot going on. You know, people work remotely now and kids go to school remotely too. And so there's just a lot of movement within our city and people moving into our city from other places throughout the United States, and it's exciting. With that said, it can be a little bit confusing about where to live. And these are some of the most popular neighborhoods. These neighborhoods I'm going to go over now are the most common neighborhoods that people ask about all the time. But just so you know, there are other neighborhoods throughout our city. Miami-Dade County is a huge county with a lot of different types of real estate and many different price points. Now, if you want to live in the most popular areas, it's all about location, location, location. So you know it's going to be a little bit more expensive than maybe some of the more suburban, less popular areas or areas that are further away from the city. So just always keep that in mind, that the closer you go to the water and the closer you get to the city, the more expensive real estate becomes. The first neighborhood that I'm going to talk about is South of 5th. South of 5th is a neighborhood that you cannot search South of 5th, Florida as in your real estate search. You will have to search really using the map, because South of 5th is a little triangle that is located on the tip edge of Miami Beach. Miami Beach is a barrier island off the mainland of Miami. You get to the mainland of Miami by bridges or by boat if you travel that way. But the people travel back and forth to Miami and Miami Beach every single day. People work, but people use the bridges to get back and forth from the mainland of Miami to Miami every single day. That's a very normal occurrence. But South of 5th is located on the tip edge of Miami Beach. It's surrounded by Government Cut, the ocean, and also Biscayne Bay. A lot of the properties built in this neighborhood are super luxury condominium buildings. And then there are also some smaller walk-up buildings, we call them. But those buildings are also fairly pricey just because of the location. Some of the most popular buildings that you will find in South of 5th are the Continuum buildings. You'll also find Apogee, Murano Grande, Murano at Portofino, Glass, and then there's a lot of other smaller buildings throughout. The Courts is in South of 5th, and the Courts is a lot of condominiums and townhomes. One of the best things about South of 5th, and that's really because it does cater to a very luxury lifestyle, is that the neighborhood has a lot of beautiful restaurants. There's a lot of outside dining throughout South of 5th. You'll also find Joe Stonecrab's, Prime 112, and South Point Park is also located in South of 5th. The next neighborhood, which is right across from South of 5th, is Brickell. And Brickell is one of the most popular city areas in Miami-Dade County. Brickell is great because a lot of the buildings in Brickell are newer buildings. And then there's also Brickell Key, which is a small island off of Brickell. Throughout Brickell, you'll find beautiful restaurants and shopping and a lot of outside dining as well. And there are a lot of hotels in Brickell that have a lot of restaurants and just a lot of activity in that area. One of the biggest things to know about Brickell is it is considered the Manhattan of the South. I mean, not as big as Manhattan, but it is considered Manhattan of the South, and it is the second largest banking industry in the United States. And so with that, there are a lot of people who live and work in Brickell, and the buildings in Brickell are gorgeous. In Brickell, you'll also find mostly condominiums. There are several townhomes and single family homes in the Brickell area, but that's not really a common type of real estate in that area. It's mostly the high-rise luxury condominiums with a lot of services and amenities and the anchor stores at the bottom to really cater to the residents who live in that area. And you can get to downtown Miami very quickly from Brickell. There's a little bridge that connects those two neighborhoods, and they're right next to each other. They're just separated by the mouth of the Miami River. The next neighborhood we're going to talk about is Coral Gables. Coral Gables is mostly single family homes. However, there are a lot of newer condominiums and townhomes that have been built over the last several years. Coral Gables has a really beautiful downtown area with shops and outside dining and indoor dining restaurants. It is a really beautiful part of Miami-Dade. It's one of the oldest neighborhoods in Miami. In Coral Gables, you will find all different price points for real estate. I would say that you can definitely find some of the starter price points in Coral Gables, but just remember our pricing has reset over the last few years, so it is a little bit higher than in previous years. Also in Coral Gables, you will find the super luxury neighborhoods like Gables Estates and Coco Plum. The closer that you get to the water is where some of the more super luxury buildings come in. It's more in the eastern part of Coral Gables, and when you go to the more western, southwestern part of Coral Gables, you can find a little bit more affordable real estate than in that far eastern side. And that's what I was talking about before. When you go a little bit more west of our city and city areas, the real estate becomes a bit more affordable than the closer that you get to the more eastern side of the city, which is the more city areas with the larger luxury real estate. Coral Gables also has a lot of gorgeous parks throughout, and Coral Gables is known as the City Beautiful. The city is very strict about maintaining the properties, and so you have to be really on your property throughout that area. They're very strict with permitting and what can and cannot be done to these properties. And you will find some historic properties throughout Coral Gables because the homes can be a bit older. Also, Coral Gables, in the luxury areas, you'll find a little bit more square footage, but a lot of the lots in Coral Gables are a little bit smaller because the homes were built many years ago, and a lot of those homes are a little bit smaller than some other parts of the city. Next, Pinecrest. Pinecrest is located in the southern part of Miami-Dade on the eastern side of the city. And Pinecrest is really popular because unlike some of the rest of the neighborhoods or properties in Miami-Dade, a lot of the lots in Pinecrest are large. And you will find most of the lots in Pinecrest are 10,000 plus square feet. And people like this. They like it because they can build really large homes on these lots. And over the years, that's what people have done. They've taken the older homes and renovated them, or they're just taking them and tearing them down and building brand new properties. Pinecrest is also great because even though it's close to everything in the city, you still feel a little bit like you're far away from all the hustle and bustle of the city. I mean, if you're living on a huge lot in a big house, you can really feel like you escape the city every time you come home at night. So that's why Pinecrest is a really popular area. There's beautiful parks throughout Pinecrest, and it's definitely a little bit more expensive than some of the areas I mentioned before. And that's mainly because of its location and the type of properties that you can buy in Pinecrest. And last but not least, one of the most popular neighborhoods in Miami-Dade, which is what I consider a neighborhood that is not on everyone's radar, and that is Doral. Doral is awesome because the location of Doral is a very central spot in Miami-Dade County. Doral is awesome because you can find a lot of brand new real estate, which is not always usual throughout Miami-Dade. There are condominiums, single family homes, townhomes. It has a few different little hot areas. There's a Shoma area. There's also City Place and downtown Doral. All of these areas have outdoor dining, shops, and just really outdoor little spaces for people to enjoy extracurricular activities and entertainment. There's also beautiful parks throughout Doral. Doral has a lot of parks. And because of its location, it is a very central area in Miami-Dade. If you live in Doral, you can be in a lot of places in Miami-Dade and also Broward in about 15 to 20 minutes because there are a lot of highways around Doral, and that supports that easy movement, which is a really good thing to know about living in this area. Also, the pricing in Doral is a bit more affordable than some of the other areas that I mentioned, and you can find all different types of real estate in this part of the city. There's a lot of new development in Doral, and there's just a lot to know about this area. So I would definitely keep Doral on your radar. All right, so I made those the top 5 best areas to live in Miami because these are the areas that people always ask me about, and then Doral is kind of a newer one that I think should be on people's radar. So I think that you should definitely look into these neighborhoods if you're thinking about moving to our city, but you should also know that there are many other neighborhoods throughout Miami-Dade County. There's a lot to know about real estate here. If you would like to do a buyer consultation, please reach out to us. We're happy to schedule that for you. My name's Jamey Prezzi. This is my husband, Ognjen Prezzi. You can find us online on Instagram at The Prezzis, and we will see you soon.